Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this, and this is a video I wanted to do much sooner, but I didn't get the time, because I got really, let's just use the word sick. But yeah, you know that I've been dying to review this game because I'm sick of all the people on the YouTube community going, Battlefield is so good, when it's really not. And I will tell you why. But before we start, I'm going to briefly run over my multiplayer thoughts because I do not like the multiplayer in Battlefield, and I knew that this would be no exception, and I put most of my time and effort into the campaign, which is the meat and two vegetables of this review, if you will. But the multiplayer, right? Now this is an overarching thing that I think has been happening since Battlefield 3. Slowly but surely, EA or DICE or Visceral or whoever makes this decision has trying to turn Battlefield, not into Call of Duty, but into much more of a Call of Duty kind of game. And that's fine, because I think definitely on console, Battlefield kind of needs that, because the core of Battlefield really doesn't work on a console. It never has, it probably never will. But they do it in a way that is shitty. They pick the worst things to change, they don't change the certain things. For instance, Battlefield Hardline is a much faster paced version of Battlefield, or it tries to be. But they don't get rid of the spawn timers. You have to wait like 20 seconds to respawn. Everything is so slow. Everyone camps with sniper rifles, which is my biggest complaint about anything ever. I fucking hate it. The respawn timers kill me. It's not even worth playing if I have to wait like 10 to 15 seconds to respawn. And that's not even exaggerating. That's the actual times. The gameplay modes are kind of fast-paced, but they're nothing original. I thought what else? I wrote things down. I'm also going to review this game out of 10, just for something different, because I want to give something a low score. I'm foreshadowing. I shouldn't be doing that. It makes no sense. Like, why are cops and robbers versing each other with helicopters and shit? I mean, that doesn't make sense. It's too much like Battlefield 4 than it is Battlefield Hardline, especially in relation to the single player. And if you want to just, if you love Battlefield multiplayer, don't buy this. Just keep playing number 4, because that's essentially what it is with a new reskin, which is what I said it would exactly what it would be, and I was correct once again. Who knew? The spawns are horrible, which I can kind of forgive it because it is the first month. But the timers just make it fucking... I mean, the good thing about Call of Duty, I'm not a big multiplayer fan, as you guys should know, but when I did play Call of Duty, the thing that drew me to it, not only was the fast-paced thing, but I hit X, I'm back in. Straight away, no load time, no spawn limit, just straight in. And it kills me in Battlefield, it really does. The fucking bird won't shut up, man. Anyway... The weapon system is confusing and shitty. I don't understand why I have to buy one gun that I can only have in one faction, and then I can't bring that over to the other faction unless I get like, what is it, like 1,500 kills with the damn thing. That's never going to happen. I'm not going to play the multiplayer ever again. I'm just saying it's lagging. Again, I can forgive that because it is the first month. The snipers are crappy. There's nothing too original, and that's pretty much all I had to say about the multiplayer. I didn't like it. I'll never like it. It was shitty. For those reasons that I said. Now let's get on to the single player game, which is just as bad. Before we start, I mean, you might not believe me, but there's probably a video years ago or months ago that I did where I'm like, I can predict this plot now. It'll be a cop. And then when they announced that he was going to be Hispanic, or Cuban to be correct, I'm like, oh, they'll probably call him Mendoza, because that is every, Hispanic dude in video games ever. And I was correct. And I had a good chuckle about that, but I could predict it down to a T. You're from the wrong side of the tracks, and you become a cop, and then you get, committed for a crime that the big dudes have committed, and you're just a pawn. Correct, right on the money. So that's why the storyline in this game was utter shit. I mean, there is, get this right, in the second mission, I shit you not, there is literally a segment in the car where you go from, like, the good side of town to the bad side of town where he grew up, and you cross train tracks. Could it not be, the metaphor is just, I could not handle it. I had to pause the game because I almost cried with laughter. I thought it was just that. It's so subtle, but I noticed it because that was my prediction going into the game, to those words exactly, so... Yeah. The game, I wrote down cultural orgasm, and Tanner, when he read that, thought I was going to go and watch porn later. But what I meant is that there's like one honky in the whole game, and he's the bad dude. And again, nothing wrong with that, but it was so cliche. Like at the end of the game, you have like a squad, and you've got the white dude, the Asian chick, the black dude, and you being Hispanic. I mean, they check all the boxes. All we needed was a gay lesbian, and we'd be sweet. But unfortunately, I don't think we had that. Although the Asian chick could be, I don't know. It was never specified. So I thought that was, and not that that's a bad thing. I just thought it was so poorly executed and so obvious that it was just ridiculous. And racist. Us white people are good for other things as well, like, you know, oppressing other genders and us white males are good at other stuff too, you know, oppressing genders and different nationalities and races and stuff like that. We've been doing it pretty successfully, I must admit. It tries way too hard to be funny, and it never made me laugh once, except at the irony of it trying to be funny and serious. That's what made me laugh. It tries way too hard. It's not funny at all. The gameplay is repetitive and boring and shitty, and I'll tell you why. It's cool. Oh, the first level, I get to arrest people, and then you do that the second level, the third level, the fourth level, the fifth level, the sixth level, the eighth level, the ninth level, and the 10th level. You can go guns blazing if you want to, but because they're trying to shoe in playing you stealth, there's not that many enemies in any given level, so you probably are going to get a bit bored of just mowing down everyone really quickly. Like, I probably beat the game. I beat the game twice. On the hardest difficulty as well. That's when I just went shooting everyone, and I blazed through probably in like 4 to 5 hours. So if you want to just blaze through it, you don't. Play the stealthy option and get bored like I did. The odd character stories, like I said before, it doesn't make sense really. The gadgets, you get 2 gadgets, but it seems odd to split the grappling line and the hook thing apart, because I don't know what I meant by that, but I knew when I wrote it down, so forget that one. Predictable story that's shit is my exact words. Yeah, it was shitty. They got great actors though, don't get me wrong. It's just a shame that the art style they went for was like clay. I mean, all the characters look like Clayface from Batman. They do, honestly. There's no lines or no features. It's odd. I don't know if I'm the only one that noticed that, 'cause I haven't seen anyone complain about that, but yeah. But no, that's probably like the only good thing about Battlefield was the actors and the performances that they got out of them. The gameplay is solid, like it's functioning, it's just not any fun. And there were a few glitches that I count down, like double takedowns, like probably half the time, because when you take people down in the game, you're like, ooh, I'm a cop. Which is weird, because you can still do that mechanic in the second half of the game where you're a fugitive. And there's one point in particular where the cops have hired out like a private army to track you down, so they're clearly aware that you're not a cop, but you can still go up to them and go, I'm a cop, and then they'll get on the ground. What kind of private army is this? Get another one, for Christ's sake. So it's that shit that made no sense to me. But yeah, you can take 3 down at a time, but you have to keep like your pistol on them. But I had it happen, the glitch, where the second dude was just off in La La Land, and he would turn around and see me arresting some other dude, well, fuck this, and then started shooting me. And that happened like 50% of the time, which was really fucking annoying. The checkpoints are stupid, because you can't skip the cutscenes. Fuck! Especially playing through the second time, it was aggravating, and going back to mop up some other achievements, you cannot skip the cutscenes. You can skip the intro, you can't skip the cutscenes, and it's fucking annoying, so that's why I say stupid checkpoints. And they put you way, too far back, I noticed. It's got an interesting TV show mechanic, so it's like, that Vice show, I can't remember. It's like, next time on Battlefield, if you happen to exit the game while playing, you probably won't though, because it takes 4 hours, and if you can dedicate 4 hours of sitting down to play it, you'll never see that cinematic once. But then when you boot up the game, it was like previously on Battlefield Hardline, and then I'll tell you what happened, which is a really cool mechanic. It's just a shame that it was put on such a shitty game. But yeah, it crashed multiple times. I don't know if that was just me being unlucky, or that's like a serious issue, but it did crash a few times. And I kept getting hit through solid fucking cover from I could not figure out where. I'm assuming that's probably because I was playing on hard. But essentially, people, the crux of this review is, if you like a Battlefield, play Battlefield 4. I mean, I would hate, honestly, like if I was a Battlefield fan, I probably should have said this at the start when I was comparing it to how they're trying to Call of Duty it. I would be really fucking pissed off, because as a Battlefield fan, I would want Battlefield. I'm kind of a Call of Duty fan. I prefer Call of Duty to Battlefield if we're going to go down that route. And I would be annoyed that if, like, Infinity Ward or Treyarch slowly tried to turn Call of Duty into a Battlefield game. The apples and oranges, they're both fruit, but they're their own separate fucking thing. I don't like oranges, and you probably don't like apples. Although I do like oranges. And I'm not a big fruit fan. But you get my drift. Like, if I was a Battlefield fan, I'd be pissed off. Stop making it faster paced and like smaller maps, because it does not work with the gameplay mechanics. As you get spawn killed. And then you have to wait 20 seconds, and then you can respawn. So if you like Battlefield, play Battlefield 4. If you're that desperate, play Battlefield 3. Don't pick this game up. The game absolutely sucks on every level. There is really nothing fun about it. You can't even... Okay, this is going to sound like a weird complaint, but when I play Call of Duty and I get the shits, which I always do, I know how to rage quit. It's easy. In 3 seconds, no, shorter than that, out of the game. In Battlefield, when you die, loading screen. So you can't push anything. Then you get to the respawn screen, and then you can push start, and slowly the menu comes up. And at this point, I'm like, oh no, it's okay, I'm cool now. I enjoy rage quitting. It's therapeutic. If you don't let me rage quit Battlefield, I'm probably going to murder someone. I'm just saying. And then you go to quit, and it's like, you can buy a battle pack. Fuck off! So yeah, I would not recommend this game to anyone unless you seriously bought it. It was like $10 on the shelf, or you can rent it just to play the single player and see what I didn't like about it. I thought the game was absolutely horrible. The multiplayer, the single player, the whole package was bad. I would not buy it. And that's about it. It's a complete waste of talent as well from Visceral Games. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't like Dead Space 3, but I thought it was a pretty solid game. And especially, you know, 1 and 2. I think it's a complete waste of talent. Get DICE to do it, because they can't make video games good anymore. Not that they have ever been able to, in my opinion, anyway. But yeah, this was kind of a loaded review, wasn't it? But I had fun, and I hope you had fun listening to me. So let me know what you think of Battlefield Hardline. Let me know if I'm wrong or if I'm correct. But I seriously, like, if you're a Battlefield fan, I'd be pissed off, because this is not Battlefield. At least in my opinion. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, rate, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think. Au revoir.